as PDP presidential flag bearer. The clock ticks towards Saturday's takeoff of Nigeria's voter registration exercise. And our big story tonight is on the fading relevance of Nigeria's National Sports Festival.
This is the News Hour on AIT. I am Shola Okbodu.
And I'm Oloyede Uwuru. Welcome.
President Goodluck Jonathan has reached out to his opponents in Thursday's primaries of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, asking them to join hands with him in building the party. In his acceptance speech after picking the party's presidential ticket, President Jonathan also promised not to let down those who picked him ahead of his rivals. AIT's Amici Anakwe has details.
Speech of President Jonathan at the presidential primary of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The first was on Thursday evening when he was given 5 minutes to speak to the delegates. The fact that the president read a prepared text as acceptance speech suggests that he had anticipated his victory. Flanked by his wife, aides, as well as senior party and government functionaries, President Jonathan, in the spirit of party unity, extended an olive branch to his opponents in the primary election.
I want to welcome Mrs. Jubril and His Excellency Alhaji Abubakar on board so that together we can build a Nigeria of our collective interest. A Nigeria where ideas guide our dreams for a greater nation. This is the time for the party to move forward in unity.
President Jonathan also said he will work towards the unity of Nigeria and its transformation.
The challenges that confront this country are enormous, but the opportunities available to us are even more. It is our responsibility as the ruling party of this great country to listen to them and move in the direction that the people expect us to go.
President Jonathan was full of praises for Nigerians, PDP members, and his campaign organization for making his victory possible. Amici Anakwe, AIT News, Abuja.
Well, celebrations in the camp of Nigeria's President Goodluck Jonathan continue to resonate around the country over his landslide victory in Thursday's National Convention of the People's Democratic Party. President Jonathan polled 2,736 votes to defeat his closest rival, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who scored 805 votes. Nigerians have also been commenting on the process and the outcome of the ruling party's primaries. AIT's Usama Ogbiko reports.
To democracy, it's a victory to humility, it's a victory to good governance.
In terms of security, it was okay. In terms of delegates, organization, it was wonderful.
This is general view of Nigerians who spoke to AIT on the conduct of the presidential primaries of the ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP.
The outcome of that convention.
In just 7 months' time,
new order of politics in Nigeria.
Sadiq Abba, a lecturer of political science at the University of Abuja, does know best practices.
It's been in the back of my mind
for the mere fact that the boxes were labeled. It is apolitical, it is undemocratic, and it is uncultural within the confines of Greco-Roman democracy.
The people, especially the governors, want a situation whereby the umbrella will continue to sustain their interests, and they want to sustain PDP as a party.
On whether the outcome of the primaries would mark the end of the zoning policy of the PDP and the practice of sectional politics in Nigeria, the respondents had this to say.
The outcome of the election was able to bury the zoning formula of PDP once and for all. Because sectionalism will rise up again. Religious differences will rise up again. So, these are the two most fundamental elements that determines the direction and the dimension of democratic expediency in Nigeria.
Zoning of the presidency is not really what it is. It is that when the president emerges from a certain part of the country, then the other key position zones.
Many, however, hope that the transparency witnessed during the PDP primaries will be reflected on the conduct of the 2011 general elections. Usama Ogbiko, AIT News, Abuja.
Nigerian Senate President David Mark says the election of President Goodluck Jonathan and Vice President Namadi Sambo as the flag bearers of the People's Democratic Party For the April 20...
And there's no...
Jonathan Sambo at yesterday.
The final qualifying turn.
He was pleasantly surprised at the overwhelming endorsement of Jonathan Sambo, saying that investment on the PDP candidates would not be misplaced.
Sports. Manchester City can clear
that the outcome of yesterday's presidential primary election has vindicated him.
Delegates of the opposition All Nigeria People's Party, ANPP, who are hoping to elect the party's presidential candidate Friday night, may have to wait for another 24 hours to do so. This is because the Eagle Square venue of the convention is also the venue of the Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration, which holds on Saturday. Officials of the party who confirmed this say they were persuaded by government officials to hold the convention immediately after the Armed Forces Remembrance Day activities on Saturday. By the INEC timetable, all political parties have until midnight to conclude their primaries at all levels.
All is set for the voter registration, which begins across the country on Saturday, and Nigerians are upbeat about the exercise. Those who spoke with AIT News say they expect nothing less than an efficiency and promptness on the part of the Independent National Electoral Commission during the exercise.
The problem with the current voters register are known to most Nigerians, who have blamed it for the lack of credibility in the country's electoral process since 1999. This is why most Nigerians are looking forward to the voter registration exercise, which begins on Saturday.
They have to advertise it. They have to go to places, villages. In Anambra State, where I came from, we were reduced to 300 and something people, from 4 million registered voters to 300 in the last election. So how do you correct this thing? So they have to go and start shouting. People should come and register.
Most Nigerians are hopeful that INEC is prepared and the hiccups of the past will not be experienced.
All Nigerians are waiting, because if you look at what the churches, the mosques are preaching, that everybody must go and exercise his right by registering, so that this time is not the time you will come and complain.
Every one of us should do whatever we can to help mobilize and sensitize others. In our own church here, we have announced that it is compulsory for every member to register.
Some call on government to consider some days as public holidays to enable Nigerians of voting age register.
If it will cost us 1 or 2 days public holidays to achieve that registration, fine. I would like it that way, so that nobody will say, because of my work, I did not have chance to go and register.
The registration is expected to begin on Saturday 15th and the 29th of January.
The Kano State Office of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it is ready for the voter registration exercise, which begins on Saturday throughout the country. The state's resident electoral commissioner, Abdullahi Umar, says already 16,148 ad hoc staff have been trained to man the registration exercise in Kano State. Umar spoke to AIT's Ogeyoga while on an assessment tour to ascertain the state of preparedness for the exercise in the state.
Ahead of the forthcoming voters registration exercise in Kano State, 8,074 direct data capture machines have been distributed to the various units. 16,140 ad hoc staff have also been trained to man the machines for the exercise.
The large number we have to handle, but all the same we try to prioritize. Only those who are computer literate are given emphasis, so that it takes a shorter time to train somebody who knows computer than somebody who is seeing computer for the first time. So I lay more emphasis on students and NYSC members who are competent.
At one of the training centers visited, some ad hoc staff were in a high spirit. Most of them, who are students, spoke with AIT.
I feel good to work for my nation.
They are interested. They like it.
However, some of them complain of inadequate logistics at their disposal for the exercise.
The exercise has not been easy
because imagine one person mounting nothing less than 100 people is not that easy. And now they said the practical aspect want to commence one person to how many systems. So I don't know how effective that will be.
While calling on members of the public to come out and mark for the voters' registration, INEC officials explained that there are collaborative efforts by security agencies to ensure a hitch-free exercise.
Oge Oga for AIT News.
The Alliance for Democracy, AD, says some officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission contributed to the troubles it has had over the years. Newly elected national chairman of the party, Okechukwu Obioha, who was speaking at ART's convention held on Friday in Abuja, said INEC needs to be overhauled to achieve the desired results in the April general elections.
Peace, justice and progress. That chant of solidarity symbolizes what the Alliance for Democracy describes as its doggedness in keeping the party afloat despite its many challenges. Party faithfuls prepared by this resolve to make a difference in a society bereaved of party ideologies. That was the atmosphere at the 30-minute convention of the Alliance for Democracy on Friday in Abuja.
This is a party that the elements in them were majorly those that insisted that the military should get out of the border politics of Nigeria. But incidentally, unfortunately, since its inception, because of external forces, which I cannot mention here, the party has been prone to crisis.
AD blamed its dwindling fortunes on the connivance of the Independent National Electoral Commission and his former members, now the Action Congress of Nigeria. To that extent, the new leadership wants urgent overhaul of the electoral umpire in the interest of peace.
There are still elements, corrupt elements in INEC that are colluding with some political parties to make sure that this democracy that people fought for and died for is not achieved or sustained in this country. So we are saying seriously that INEC should be overhauled. They are not here today. We have all the documents to show that what we have done today is legal.
The only agenda of the convention was the recognition of the acting national chairman, Okechukwu Obioha, as a substantive chairman of the party, and that was hurriedly done. The new chairman said the AD is seriously considering alliance with other political parties to present a formidable presidential candidate in the April election.
We partner with an individual in PDP at the presidential level. We can also partner with an individual in ANPP on the House of Assembly level or House of Rep member. That's what Nigerians want. That's what democracy is all about. It's not about party. It's about character.
Rebuilding the Alliance for Democracy from the seeming ruins may be tough, but the new leadership appears poised just for that.
Cross-carpeting, the term popularly used to describe the defection of politicians from one party to another, is not a common occurrence in most developed democratic climes. In Nigeria, however, it's no longer news when a politician cross-carpets. And as expected, the countdown to the 2011 polls in Nigeria has witnessed a number of politicians jumping ship. AIT's Anoyoyo Ogiaboge examines the development in this report.
The defection of politicians from one political association to another in Nigeria has never been a big deal. But the current wave of cross-carpeting is a cause for concern. No geopolitical zone or political party has been spared, with the People's Democratic Party most affected.
But under the watch of my main opponent, our party has actually been shrinking. And now members have been leaving voluntarily to join other parties, including even a cabinet minister. We must arrest this ugly trend if we do not want electoral defeat in April.
But party stalwarts say cross-carpeting is a necessary ingredient for Nigeria's political development.
Such upheavals or tensions arising from the primaries are often associated with electionary seasons such as we have presently. The season has its own peculiarity. It is not limited to the Nigerian political landscape alone. An aspirant who feels that his political ambition is not being allowed in a political party is naturally inclined to move to another political party where he feels he stands a better chance.
How does this portend for needed democratic virtues such as ideology, vision, and commitment to governance?
Those politicians who crisscross from one party to the other are not following the ideologies of that party. They are doing that for their selfish